Hey, what's going on, Guardians? TBL here, coming back at you with another Destiny weapon roll review video on the PlayStation 4. Now, this time around, we're going to be talking about the Grasp of Malok Legendary Pulse Rifle. Now, this thing is the newest cream of the crop, flavor of the month, best gun in the Crucible. And that's not exactly a bad thing. When I say flavor of the month, what I mean is it's the gun everybody and their mother are using right now. Seriously, if you head into the Crucible, you'll definitely notice it. And the reason why is because Bungie made Omnigul the Nightfall last week, which allowed everyone to generally farm her for that perfect god roll grasp. Now, the grasp itself is a very interesting weapon. It's of the highest rate of fire archetype possible for pulse rifles, and I do believe it's the only legendary pulse in the game that is in that archetype, which means it's got its share of pros and cons. For the pros, it's got the fastest time to kill currently available for any legendary primary in PvP. It's also got a very high base magazine size of 33 and very high aim assist. I think the aim assist stat is like at 82, which is fantastic. For the cons, it's kind of got low range and stability and a slightly below average reload speed. But for the most part, this is a very, very solid gun. It's very, very powerful, and depending on the perks that you get, it is an absolute monster in PvP. So that's what we'll be focusing on today, the particular best roll that I got from my farming of Omnigul last week. I got about 5 grasps, and this was obviously the best of the bunch. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, now in the first tree, this thing is rocking red dot ORES, focus lens RL R5, and finally true sight iron sights. And of the 3 of these, I like red dot ORES, but I generally run with true sight iron sights for the small boost to aim assist. Next up, we've got Counterbalance, which is all too necessary on guns with rates of fire like this one. And of course, that perk eliminates nearly all horizontal recoil and causes your gun to kick straight up. The middle tree, we've got Fitted Stock, Injection Mold, and finally Demotion. Fitted Stock and Injection Mold are both great options for this gun since they give you a nice boost to the gun's stability. Now, while Counterbalance will make this gun super easy to control, you still want it to be as stable as possible so you can laser line those shots direct to your target's head. And while Injection Mold will give you greater stability than Fitted Stock, it does cost you a little bit of range, so generally I run with the Fitted Stock perk since it's extra stability with no cost to range. Finally, we've got Feeding Frenzy, where kills with this weapon will increase reload speed for a short time. And there we go. Overall, not a bad roll. Certainly not the best, most optimal roll you could get on this sort of gun. For that, you'd probably want something like red dot OAS, Counterbalance, maybe Perfect Balance or Braced Frame in the middle tree, and then like Third Eye, Glass Half Full, maybe Grenadier in the last tree. Although mine is not bad. Having Feeding Frenzy in the last tree to give you that faster reload will mix really well with some pulse rifle reload gloves if you can get them. Seriously, I mean, the combination of Feeding Frenzy plus some pulse rifle reload gloves make the reload speed on this thing almost ridiculous. And the mixture of those two abilities really had me diving in and out of gunfights, getting quick kills, instantly reloading, and then getting right back into the fray, which, I mean, you guys have seen how I play by now. I'm a very aggressive player, and getting right into the gunfight is exactly where I want to be. Now, how does this gun perform? Well, it's actually really good. If you didn't manage to get one last week, oh man, I'm sorry, but this thing is, it's a very powerful pulse rifle. Even before I had Counterbalance unlocked, I didn't have too much trouble managing the recoil on this gun. Maybe because I've been using too many bullet hose auto rifles for far too long, but the addition of Counterbalance on it basically turns this gun into a laser. Really, you could almost ignore some of the other tier 2 and tier 3 abilities on this weapon as long as you get Counterbalance, because it's going to make this thing so easy to control, so easy to track people with. It's already got a great amount of aim assist, so keeping your gun on target, not too hard. And if you manage to get yourself a roll with something like Hand-Laid Stock, Braced Frame, or Perfect Balance, you are going to have no trouble at all using this thing at almost all ranges. Now, speaking of range, I notice I get some surprisingly long-range kills with this gun. Now, certainly I'm not going to be challenging any hand cannons or scout rifles, but it definitely outranges guns like the Doctrine of Passing or the Arminius D. And it really allows you to keep up an unrelenting amount of pressure on your opponents. Seriously, it makes me kind of wonder what this gun would be like if I were to roll high caliber rounds on it, but I really wouldn't want to give up that slot with the extra stability, because again, Perfect Balance, Hand-Laid Stock, any of those perks are going to make this gun so easy to use. Now, the Grasp has a time to kill of 0.77 seconds at optimal range. That means you can kill in basically 3 bursts, as long as you land 8 crit shots and 1 body shot. I don't find this to be too difficult at all. At optimal ranges, you deal about 23 damage per critical hit shot and 16 damage per body shot. And because of the mixture of counterbalance, fitted stock, and this gun's naturally high aim assist, I find it really easy to stay on target for people and just lace them in the head over and over and over again. Rarely do I have to put in more than 3 to 4 bursts. Overall, the Grasp of Malok is a really good, really interesting weapon. The fact that it's the only legendary pulse rifle of its archetype, with 77 rate of fire and 4 impact, plus the fact that it's still got a really high magazine size and a really good aim assist stat. This thing is definitely worthy of the fanfare that it gets. Now, for the longest time, it was one of the rarer guns in the game because, again, you can only get it from Omnigul in the Will of Crota Strike. You have to beat her and just hope that she drops it. So for a very long amount of time, a lot of Guardians simply couldn't get their hands on it, just weren't lucky enough for it. But now that Bungie's given everyone the ability to efficiently farm it by making it the Nightfall, you're going to see a lot more players who have it. And overall, this gun performs very well. If you can get a nice counterbalance stability roll, it is an absolute laser beam that it's going to really dominate the battlefield at close to mid-range. Now, it's not unbeatable. Of course, you can outrange it fairly easily with stuff like snipers or scout rifles or really even hand cannons. But overall, the Grasp is definitely a gun that's well worth the grind, and my role here, while again not perfect, is definitely really good. That mixture of counterbalance and fitted stock giving me all the stability I need, and then Feeding Frenzy giving me the ability to reload almost instantaneously, really making up for that slower base reload speed that this gun has. It's not a bad roll, and this has probably become one of my absolute favorite primaries in Destiny. The gun is just so reliable, it kills so quickly, and you're able to use it in quite a few situations. I'm actually almost afraid that since now so many people have it and so many people are using it, Bungie's probably gonna nerf it just because its usage is skyrocketing right now. But here's hoping that doesn't happen. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for this quick review of my specific role of the legendary pulse rifle, the Grasp of Malok. Once again, you can get this from farming Omnigul and the Will of Crota Strike. It is an amazing weapon, it's got a very fast time to kill, and as long as you can get something decent like counterbalance and maybe one other stability boosting item, this gun is going to demolish. But alright, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Be sure to let me know what you think of the Grasp of Malok in the comment section below. Have you gotten a god roll? Be sure to let me know. And of course, thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked what you saw here, do feel free to check out my channel. We have a ton more Destiny content coming out soon. But alright guys, it's going to be it for this one. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty, and good luck farming for the Grasp.